start with the introductions. Hi, everybody. I'm your host. No, not your host, actually. That would be Griffin, who is your host, and Rectus, who is hosting us in our channel. So both of them are hosting. That's just like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I confused her. And today, actually, no, yeah, Theta is the one who's hosting the call as well. I thought they split the difference, but not tonight. Yeah, this one. I know. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Do you understand what the box is all about? No. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Uh, yes, I am looking at the overlay here. So let's start with the overlay, shall we? Let's start with our two friends, Gar and Kix, and their introductions.
All right, everybody. Over here, Theta is playing Gar, the total necromancer. There's nothing he loves more than a good mystery. Self-improvement is his goal. The goal of a life of study is the betterment of oneself. He sold his soul for knowledge and hopes to win it back with great deeds, and he believes that unlocking an ancient mystery is worth the price of a civilization. Meanwhile, there's Baron Kicks the Shield, the Battlemaster Dragonborn fighter. He's a cool and calculated individual who believes a hero stands up against all challenges. Those under his command responsibility come first, and he has an immense ego and delusions of grandeur.
We have Barakat, the bard.
Yep, I'm playing Barakat, the Tiefling Eloquence Bard. Flattery is the best way to direct attention away from me. I like seeing these smiles on people's faces when I perform. My instrument is my most treasured possession, and I'm struggling with my secret identity. I'm currently disguised as a human, and none of them know. So,
DP Ranger, is that how it's in the overlay? Let me see. Druid Ranger, I suppose. Dranger. He's a Dranger. Yeah, Hugh, a Dranger Hugh.
Well, he could also be a Ruid.
You just took the bit I was gonna do.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's
all good. As long as it got out. I am Hugh, the Arrow of Alona. He believes in equality, fair and equal treatment of people, whether it be from the law or not, and action. And today I'll throw something fun out there. One of his personal goals is to just slay a dragon.
Interesting.
Oh no, I gotta look out.
That dragon, casually.
Yeah. And last but not least, our newest member of the party, Leo, the monk.
Yes, I am playing. I am Lael. Actually, specifically, although the party doesn't know this yet, a Way of Shadows monk. My personality traits are contemplative yet jovial. My ideals are seeking balance within myself. My bonds are about myself, about seeking enlightenment as well. And my flaw is that I harbor vengeance in my heart that I struggle to control.
So last time you arrived in the city, it is relatively big enough to call a city, of Safeton, which, yes, in that corner, Safeton, right, that way. Used to be known as Safed Town, but over time, people being who they are, they contracted the name into Safeton. It is at the edge of the Woolly Bay, and it's one of those cities that gives this region its name, the Wild Coast, which some players have been clamoring to see the coast for a very long time, and now we're here because our Gar, our total wizard, received a message that there might be something very important in the city or nearby, something part of his own personal quest, and he has he's hired a small army, including his servants and players, to come here and investigate. And they found out that there was a man named Garvug, who apparently is connected to the ship called the Griffin's Crescent. However, the ship has not arrived to Safeton. It was supposed to be here in a week or so, maybe a little bit more than that, between a week and a month. It takes a while for ships to come up and down the Woolly Bay. and it was coming up from the western coast of the Willow Bay, so from the Home Arch, apparently. This individual Garvuk is supposed to be a member of the Hardby Marines, which are the elite soldiers that are stationed here aboard ships. That you met an individual who did not identify themselves, but said that they would want to have a talk with Garvuk because Garvuk owes them money. Something about an investment scheme in ships. And if you could lure him out so that he could have a chat with him, perhaps get his money back or a portion of it, that would be great. However, you found out that Garvuk, being a Marine, is stationed in the northern eastern quarter of the city called the Marine Quarter, and that being the military quarter of the city, it is under not stringent but heightened security, which means most people who have to go in there either already live there or they need a pass or invitation to go there. And you were about to find out how you were going to get in there and how you were going to lure or talk to Garvuk.
Yep. And I think last time, I think the suggestion that I was at least running with was, I have some authority and I have business I probably need to talk with the lord of this town with in the first place, which is immigration towards our fort and, getting permission for that to happen. So if I go in on official business and you all come with me and then you all disappear and do whatever it is you do behind my back, then you can go ahead and get to the Marine that you need to get to, do whatever you have to do, and hopefully things will work out.
Well, could we just ask to speak to the individual after we've done the dealings?
Well, if you're in the district, you could just go straight to his house.
We do know exactly where he lives.
See, I don't know why we have to sneak with everything.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why this isn't even sneaking here. I literally am just going to go do some legitimate business, everybody. And that should get everyone into the district.
First, you have to secure a way of pass. Either you can get an invitation to talk to the mayor of the city, who his name, and I'm not making this up, is Turing Deathstalker.
Nice. Badass.
Okay. Interesting name. Nothing suspicious about it.
Not at all. Turing Deathstalker of the he is from the Shieldlets.
Can I make some sort of check to see if that's just a really cool coincidence or if he's like a horribly feared warrior?
Oh, history check. It'll be difficult because while he's well known, the reason why he's well known is something you have no clue about.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot. Oh, I super don't know.
Gar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to whisper this to you, Gar, but because this is gonna be very interesting.
Why would somebody stalk death? That makes no sense. It comes for us all.
Yeah, it's not really hiding.
Embrace death. You do realize this.
Agreed. When it happens, it happens.
That is the reason why they stalk it, obviously. Perhaps he
they're going to
embraces
kill
it.
death.
No, but he himself wishes to be known as someone who brings death, perhaps.
Or maybe
Or
he just has a
very
coincidentally
bad
very
memory.
cool name.
Yes, I was actually about to say that.
Yeah.
Suddenly I feel like calling myself the Shield isn't as impressive suddenly. Maybe we go with Dark Dragon or the Kill Scale or
Well, that's more of an intimidation thing than like a noble thing, though.
Ah, you're right. It's hard to mix
The
two
shield is
together.
pretty a noble kind of title.
How could I possibly mix the two together? How could I be noble and badass?
What we have to do now is have each one of us here be named after a weapon. You're the shield, I'm the arrow.
Oh,
that I
yeah,
actually
that's a good
use
combo,
now.
actually.
Bearcat can be the sling.
I don't think that's how that works.
You can be the bass
I
guitarist.
feel I need no nickname. If that is okay with you, young kobold.
Gar the Flying Guillotine.
Oh, do what you do. No judgment here.
I think my deeds will
Right.
be sufficient judgment. Actually,
So, lessons. You were saying one thing would be to get an invitation, and what was the other way that you were going to say?
Oh, perhaps try to sneak in, right?
Mhm.
So you can get it. Well, you can get a pass, but you will need to have a reason to be. Maybe you're going to see someone, have family there, etc., or get an invitation to talk to Turin, who is very difficult to talk to. Perhaps, probably you know that you'll be directed to a manservant or someone in his his retinue.
Even that would probably be good for me, as long as I can go speak with someone.
Although, yes, asking for permission for people to leave the city is important because this is, fantasy Middle Ages and serfdom is a thing. And so people.
Hey, I'm just gonna take half your population and wander off with it. You cool with that? All right, see you later.
So yeah, if you do recruit people here who wish to leave, the easiest way to do so would be to say yes, but you're probably going to get a handful of them, of course.
And we can leave flyers around town or something.
Yeah, and also makes it easier for them to sell their homes and stuff like that, because technically speaking, the entire city belongs to the domain of Greyhawk, as the legal overlord of the city. So yeah, even your hound doesn't belong to you.
So I guess first step, Kix is going to go ahead and look for the legal channel to figure out how to send that message and get a response.
There's an office of scribes and lawyers here. They probably would know that that's a guild. That's part of the guild, the Greyhawk, and they have branches everywhere. So that might be a good way. After all, you also have to present your crest and your credentials. The best way to validate them would be to them.
Hey, that actually is a great idea. I have my crest, I have my signet ring, I have credentials, and I can prove who I am. So I'll go there first, and I'll start taking care of business.
It's a busy place, a 2-story building. It's closer to the wall on the Freeman's Quarter, because they also have to do a lot of business with foreigners as well. Understood. And you go and you meet the with lawyers. Again, you do stand out as you are, especially with the large troop of, I guess, soldiers that you're traveling with. One of the things you notice is that none of the guards seem to travel, at least in this part of the city, alone, either in pairs or in groups of 4 minimum. Like, none of this, I just want to go and, duck over to soldiers by themselves. This is very much even the militia, even the city guard is well trained and
it has some amount of discipline. That's good to see.
Even more so, I mean, in many places, this militia is very much, they're cops, right? They're medieval cops, more or less, if they exist at all. But here they are first and foremost soldiers, right? And act like that. In fact, well, we're the only warrior here because our war priest is no longer with us. So you're the probably only one who.
I have a question, actually.
Go ahead.
Would they be considered closer to commoners than guards?
No, they are definitely guards.
Okay.
They're more closer to standing military than commoners. Yep. These are not civilians.
Not a problem.
They fill the role of militia, guards and whatnot, but clearly by their stance and the way that they, first and foremost, they are here as soldiers. In fact, you get the feeling that this whole town is under essentially military occupation.
All right. So maybe a little bit disturbing, but as long as we don't go causing trouble, I say, looking at everyone else, as they're probably about to go cause trouble later.
So there's an office, and one of the younger scribes welcomes you, and she's actually working, and she very much looks like Sifa from Castlevania series, but with longer hair. And she's like, Yes. What can I do for you? Oh.
Yes, good evening. I'm Sir Baron Kicks the Shield. I come from out west. I've come here to speak to the Lord in a good and proper manner, and I thought perhaps the first thing I should do while here is speak to the guild and see if they could maybe perhaps help me arrange a meeting of some kind.
Oh, right. And she gets up and she bows and no,
Oh, thank you.
anyways. Oh, yes. As you can see, and there's a mess of papers, right? And there's sheets of papers, and there's the equivalent of a modern binder. Really, they're more like moleskin, notebooks where they have stacks of papers inside, which is a lot of.
Yeah.
If somebody were to take a lighter to this match this place, it would be thousands of pieces of gold going to flame because that's a lot of paper, and ink. But it's the trade of and also you see a lot of people with clay tablets as well, which is easier because you can't sort of wipe them out and write other stuff in it. And less expensive in the long run. So
when they need to take short notes rather than actually keep a paper trail.
Yeah. Actually, wax, not clay. Clay will be different. It'll be like a wax tablet.
I think chalkboards were also really good for some certain time period, but I'm not sure which time period. But definitely pre the expensive paper everywhere.
Yeah. And so she gets up and she starts asking a series of questions. Your full name, your place of birth, establishing the whole thing, and she's noting down. And you said the barony and when you were elevated and by whom, and you kind of describe shortly the affairs.
Right, this is all information over the past few months that I've probably just kind of committed to memory.
Yeah, and she has a chart. Basically, she reconstitutes has a lot of crests, the crests in the city, and it's like, well, you're not here, but I look and looks at. Oh, we haven't had the updated heraldry chart from Greyhawk, so. But that's fine. That's fine. It always happens. It takes weeks, sometimes even months to get that new information. So don't worry about it. I just put you down here. After all, nobody will be. It would be incredibly stupid to try to impersonate a noble in this town.
Could you imagine?
Yes. Not something I want to be in deal with. And she basically says, my lord, it will be just for fees and stuff like that. She charges about 5 gold or something like that. Because you're not inscribing it, but again. There's multiple fields, Yeah, basically takes a lot of silver, but for most people, but
So I'll go ahead, I'll take out a few gold, I'll put it down and
before you actually pay.
Yeah.
That was 5 gold?
Yes, just 5.
There will be 7 gold placed on the counter from a little lizard hand. A tip. Thank you.
Oh. I mean, I cannot. I'm sorry. And she daintily takes the 2 gold in the top and it's like, and she looks over. It's like, oh, it's interesting. Sorry, I cannot accept gratuities. It's against guild law. If I were to be caught, yes, no, sorry. I mean,
I'll lean in on her and I'll try to almost conspiratorial whisper. It's just like. Just write him up some big important data sheet. Make him look good too, please. Or write him down as advisor. Yeah, right there.
Okay. And she actually has a book of inscriptions that she has to keep notes on, like every transaction that she has, and that's actually even true today. And many lawyers, you have to write it down. And so, and there's also. Stamps. There's, all the paperwork has to be stamped, and so she has to write the stamps in it, and that's actually what half of the cost that you're doing is for essentially government stamps, and things that have to be attended to the papers to make them official. So it's like, and she she returns it to gold, thankfully, and she does write the Hugh, the Arrow of Alona assistant to the Baron Kicks. Basically paid for the gold, the amount of 5 gold, which is, and she details, 7 coppers for this, 5 silver for that, altogether, comes to 5 gold.
Very good bookkeeping, actually.
Wonderful. So at least we have all this notarized then, and hopefully this will all be
I would
plenty
let you
proof.
know that in medieval England, it was one of the most litigious times in history. And in fact,
The Dooms.
oh, that's just the beginning. Literally, I seen sheets that run like one lawsuit was in one sheet. So the longer the lawsuit, they kept adding to the scroll, become
Yeah.
longer, and they would append more pieces to vellum to the. It's like there's some of them that are huge, right? Because it's just one lawsuit, one. Well, literally because it was one writ, so
Yeah.
everything had to be appended in. So
You think just because
That's how
Greyhawk
the-
didn't
that's
record
how the
this
law-
patrons claim to our hold that he's going to stop there? No, he's coming to this city and he's going to try making notes too that say he owns that territory and then bring that back to Greyhawk as evidence.
I mean, historically, that's how like the nobility kept control in England for a long time because they were just warring clans for centuries. But after William the Conqueror and all that stuff, he introduces a tax code system, Doomsday Book. They get super like said, sue happy, I guess would be the way to go with it, and it just spirals into this massive web of just like money going everywhere and writing down every single penny, including gifts you get for holidays and just being the king and all that crap. It was ridiculous.
it was very litigious, and then the money classes like the squires and also would sue themselves crazy as well, because for whatever. Oh, it's before that it was like I punch you in the face. Now it's like, oh, you took my pig. That's my pig. Oh, and
Yep, and we lost Rob. They'll return in greater number.
Yeah, he was switching, but apparently to his other mic, so that's why.
Happens all day.
Mhm.
But let's see. So, well, we have all this done and notarized, and hopefully this should be ample proof for the Lord of the Land. And now, I suppose, of the second bit of business, actually getting a meeting with someone of import.
That might be well if you can find someone of note in the city that could sponsor you essentially. Because while yes, you are nobility, you are foreign to the city. Like it's not
true.
it's not merely a matter of having the right paperwork, it's a matter of who knows who, right? Its reputation is very important. That you stand out as a dragonborn makes it easier, I suppose. And that perhaps you can, people do take notice of you, whether they will react positively to your presence or not. That is something you have to find out.
Well, I suppose that'll have to be an investigation, but if I could go ahead and get a copy of all this, I'll be taking it with me for now.
Mhm.
All right, and then on to phase 2, finding a sponsor now. So, Bearcat.
Yep.
We need to find someone who's has some sort of claim to title here, who can get us the connections we need, but probably also is suitable to a bribe.
Okay. Suitable to a bribe.
Or, well, honestly, any sort of in it all will work. I think you can work your magic.
Okay.
That would be in a gather information series of roles with investigation and persuasion. First investigation to find if you can collect any names, and we're gonna, we're not gonna do every single person. We're just gonna make a couple of rolls and see what develops from there, as opposed to just like, oh, you talk to this person, you talk to that person, and then you went over here. Hey,
Start
yeah.
with.
Yeah. You can narrow your search. What type, besides someone who is bribable, do you have any ideas who might be someone who might be targetable?
Hugh might have a way to narrow that down a little bit.
Yeah.
Hugh may find the right people to ask who hear rumors and stuff about that get spread through people who work for important people. Being a kobold, he's more likely to be able to speak to that class of people.
Okay. So, which area of the city are you targeting then?
Hugh will go to. Let's see. I'm gonna say the. So which area is not like high nobility, but like decent?
The Freeman's Quarter, which is where you are right now. Basically, the city is divided into 4 quarters.
Okay.
Dock Quarter, Marine Quarter, Low Quarter, and the Freeman's Quarter.
Okay. In that case, he would do the Freeman's Quarter, but he would go to places that are like the drinking establishments of the help, not the actual important people.
Yeah. You do find a somewhat dingy little bar in an alleyway near the Sage's Guild Tower. So yes, this actually has a wizards and the like in the city. Also, now that we have the Sage's Guild Tower, if you want to do any history search or something like that, they're also a good place to do that as well. But you find it, and literally it's called the hole on the wall. It almost looks like a residential door, if you don't know what you're looking for, but you do find it. And there's a burly half orc sort of leaning against the door, like.
Before I do anything, did anybody come with you for this adventure?
Well, probably me.
Okay.
Since I have to probably talk to people with you.
All right. Well, this may be a place to get something. Let's go. First round's on me.
Oh boy, here we go again.
I mean,
As
Zero.
I confidently stride in to this establishment.
Lael does feel a bit out of his element in the city at the moment because he's been in the woods for so long.
Mhm.
So I think he might just follow along with whatever you're all doing and just observe. That's all he can really do. Either that or play his flute.
Yeah, as
He's
you
gonna
go
watch
to
this shit show.
As you go to the door and you realize the door has to be, doesn't opens outwards. You a meaty hand slaps the door. It's like boom. And
Thank you.
where do you think you're going?
Oh,
He hasn't even opened the eyes. It's just like,
I was going to get a beverage.
right. We don't get a lot of your kind down here, or anywhere near here.
Most people don't get a lot of my kind anyway.
That's true enough.
I'm kind
What
of
is-
I'm kind of a weird one.
So what are you doing here besides getting a drink? We don't need any rat catchers.
Oh no! If I catch rats, I kind of play with them. But I'm here with a baron. I'm one of his council, and I just want to have a drink with people who aren't snooty and give me worse looks than the bad ones.
He chuckles when you say this. Like, I like you, you little kobold. Get in there. But if you cause any trouble, it'll be me you have to deal with. You understand?
I only cause fun trouble.
I'm gonna pretend that you're gonna emphasize the fun rather than the trouble.
Yep.
Get in
And
there.
then yeah, he'll go in. He doesn't even look at how many people are in the space. He'll walk up to the bar, sit down, and be like, "I'll buy a round for the bar."
And the bartender turns around. Everybody, he it's a he, right? Yes, he.
Yep.
Buying around for the house. I mean, he's a lizard. He can't tell the difference between male and female. He doesn't know.
It's all good.
So it's not like they're lizards from Skyrim or something. And everybody's and everybody starts celebrating, and he starts. He basically takes like a bunch of everybody puts their cups down, and he starts filling them. With the cheapest ale he finds because, why he's gonna waste the good stuff on these idiots. And they start caving in, and they kind of patch. They try to pat you in the back, but you're so patting you in the head as they go like bang, and grab their drinks. Like, well, and one lady stuff is like, well, I don't know about little reptiles, but anyone who's willing to buy me a drink, it's all right with me. Do you get cold at night?
If it's really cold outside, yes.
Oh, okay. And she sort of wanders off with her drink.
You have no idea.
And you hear someone else saying, like, Martha, stop being so I can't take you anywhere. Ah, shut up.
I asked Barakat, does this happen often with little Hugh?
Fine this.
Being the life of the party, the one that is the most outgoing yet the most reviled at the same time.
Say that's not an inaccurate description, yes.
It's impressive, I must say.
Though generally most people are discriminatory, but I mean if you buy a
find
drink
that
for the whole bar, it's not really an issue.
you find that everywhere, unfortunately.
How much did that round cost me?
Charges you about a gold.
Oh, this bar is going to love Hugh because he doesn't understand the value of money.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing a permanent help action on anything that Barakat tries to do by spending like 20 gold to just get everybody trashed.
Barakat, you know, Q doesn't know this, but Barakat, you are someone who has a bar to spend a lot of time in these establishments. This stuff is either barely alcoholic or it's so badly brewed that it's like a bomb. Like if you breathe too hard on it, it will explode in your face. You have no idea, but this stuff is drinkable the way ethanol from a fresh still is drinkable. Right.
All right.
I think the way it
Bathtub gin.
plays
This is
out-
the precursor to bathtub gin. This way.
So I think the way that it plays out is seeing how little it cost him based off of how much he has. He reached into his bag and just put 20 on the table and said, "I got everybody for the night." I don't know if that's a good amount, but it's
And
what.
you see that there's another bartender, and the bartender's like, "Oh yeah," and puts his hand on his shoulders, like, "Take a break. Just take a break." But to take a break, right? And he steps in, and is like, and he takes 5 out of the 20. Like, young sir, you might want to keep the other 15 just between you and me. Wouldn't flash that much money around. People get gold crazy around here. The 5 will cover the night. Don't worry about it. It's on us. And he takes a 5.
And in that case, I'll take back 10, and 5 of that's for you to let me know if there's trouble.
Do a persuasion check.
Hell yeah!
He doesn't know if you're trying to just buy him off.
Jeez.
Okay. He basically politely says, "Sir, thank you, young sir, but it's," and he puts the other 5. This will be fine.
Perfect. He's like, "Okay, again, I've not been around people for that long. I've been around kobolds. I just grabbed an amount. Thank you." And he puts it in his coin purse.
I know he puts it, he basically puts it on the bar. It's like, and he goes back in the kitchen. It's like, if you try to take advantage one of our clients again like that, I swear to mighty God, not only will I divorce you, I will kick your ass while I'm doing it. Like, oh, but I just don't mess with me. You know that. Like, oh, okay, sorry. It's just, it's a lot of money, blah, blah. But just shut up and do your job. That's what you should never hire family or spouses. And he comes out. He's like, domestic abuse.
It's Jim Davenport 2.0.
Domestic abuse is not a joke, chat.
No, it isn't.
And at that point, he was just having a good day. He is eating. He is drinking. He's not going to the point he did when he was partying with a Goliath. But he's having a good time. He always keeps his money on very safe spots inside pockets. Not because he's worried about people taking it, but because he travels through the woods.
Yeah, makes sense. Also, you know that in the woods are affected by pack rats, and pack rats just take everything.
Exactly.
Like, whether it's gold, silver, food, whatever they can get their hands on. One moment it's there, the next is, So the if there are any thieves that you encounter in the city, they have nothing compared to a pack of pack rats. So, Barakat, drinks have been served. Everybody's having apparently a good time. This place is dingy because you literally see only the rays of light coming from the slanted windows, right? So the boarded windows. You see specks of dust floating everywhere. People milling around, drinking, talking, shouting. Somebody playing a game of dice here or cards somewhere else. No entertainment. The conversation and whatever games of chance that they're playing here, and the drink that is now flowing freely among everybody. Yeah. In fact, people take to sort of patting you every time you pass it, patting him in the head, almost like a good like people patting the belly of a Buddha statue, right? But they're doing it to his like good luck. This kobold, this little lizard, it's a good luck sign for them.
Huo is a good omen. Confirmed.
Yeah, it's a good omen. Yeah.
For now, at
Okay.
least.
For now, yeah.
For now. Okay. Well, I guess we have our little area to start talking to people.
Yep. In the morning, people will be ruining the name of Hugh when they wake up and see the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I guess I'll start going around trying to suss out some potential people that we can
Mhm.
use.
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll something specific?
Yes. Investigation. First of all.
Investigation. Okay.
You suss out somebody.
Oh, is this done with the advantage or normal
Oh yeah,
for
advantage.
the situation? Okay.
Because yeah, everybody's tipsy though. They're not gonna put on airs.
Not
Yeah.
bad.
You find that in a corner there's about 3 or 4. Actually, there's a young man complaining to other group of other young men about someone named Prentice. Prentice this, Prentice that, Sir Prentice. And the others were like, and someone was like, "You have it. What do you worry about? You have it made. You just have to do his laundry." And Sir Apprentice, yes. That's all you have to do. You don't have to worry about anything. I've seen worse. It's like, yeah, but it's like he doesn't shut up about all about all the things he did back in the Shield Lands and all the orcs and all the things. It's like he just never shuts up. Wish one blessed day of silence. And someone else was like, "Well, Vladimir, you don't shut up. When we get some silence for a change." Well, I mean, and so they keep talking, right? And as you approach their table, having overheard this, what do you do?
So it's a group of 3 or 4?
It's a group of 3. Yeah, 3.
Okay, 3.
And one of them, the smallest, youngest, is the one that is talking.
Okay. So I guess I'm gonna pull up a chair and come in fairly friendly. Having some trouble with some people?
Oh, you're with
Yeah,
the little lizards giving the free
I
drinks.
sure am.
It's the very lucky lizard you have there.
Yes,
Very
very.
lucky indeed. I don't know where you found him and what hole you found him from, but you better keep him around because if he pays for everything every time, that's a
Yeah.
good thing to have. Yes. Yeah. So what? What was it?
Some
Yeah.
apprentice person you're
Oh, that's
some
Latimer.
kind of issue?
The 2 pointed at the third or youngest complaining about Sir Prentice. It's his master. Right? He's supposed to be Latimer here is supposed to be a squire. The only thing he's doing is doing laundry.
So this apprentice is knight then or something?
Oh yeah. Tell him, Latimer, about Princess. It's like Latimer's like, the long and short of it is, this apprentice came from the Shield Lance when after the Shield Lance fell, and he went to Greyhawk and from America, and I'm here. I don't know how he did, and he fought many battles, and he's the last of his line. Blah 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 blah, and apparently very famous for killing hundreds of orcs, etc. But why is he up there killing more orcs, and he's now here? And he needed a servant, and he promised me the house and just get fat, drunk, and lazy, and I have to do everything. And apparently, that's what Squire do. They clean his weapons, his armor, his clothes, his house. I'm just a servant. I don't know about this Squire shit.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of work being a squire. I've known a few in my time.
Yeah, but usually they go places and do things. Ride
Yeah.
horse, or they ride with the knight's supposed to ride on horseback, and you ride beside them and stuff. I mean, we thought about going adventuring or something.
Well, if he's a
killing
knight,
killing
does he-
orcs and such.
does he live in like the Marine Quarter then, or
No.
or does he?
He used to be a knight of the Shield Lance, which is way up north, across the near dive. Well, before it fell to the old one. And when he says the old one, everybody's like, they look at him like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like he who must not be named situation. Like yeah. And so it was like orcs and trolls and all kinds of monsters. And then he came here. And he points at the opposite direction. He points like, and over there you have the empire of the orcs. So he came from one place that fell to the orcs to go into another place where it could any day fall to the orcs. And I just don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But he's here, retired, I guess. Title and wealth and what have you. Last of his line, he keeps saying. Last apprentice. Fastidiously famous family that nobody's fucking heard of.
Well, I've certainly never heard of it.
Yes, that makes two of us. Well, I heard of it because I have to hear it all the time, but
Eh.
nobody heard of it.
Well, you know, where do you like do your work? I guess is it a far travel from where you live? Like,
No, it's around the corner. He lives right up the street. He has a house here. And my house, because I live with my parents still. Just sort of wake up and do the chores. He pays me back then. At least I'm employed, which is good. My mother's not always complaining about not doing anything at the house. So I'm actually doing something for a change. You know how embarrassing it is to be constantly washing a man's smoke clothes.
well, I mean, if you wanted, I'm sure we could help out for like a day or two. If you wanted some help.
Oh,
Maybe get you some more free time tomorrow or something, or
we could
today
do that.
even.
Well, today's my day off. Just
Yeah.
drinking.
So
We're all drinking. It's a little lizard. Oh, it's over there. So yeah. Hey, the lizard. Hey. We're getting another round soon. Anyway, yeah. But right now, we're drinking. Today we drink. Tomorrow, somebody else dies. I'm not gonna die. It's stupid. I don't know why.
Well, I'm sure you could use a little bit more time off.
Sure.
We could. I wouldn't mind coming to help you out. The lizard might help if he wants to.
Really?
Well, you just seem like you need a little bit more of a break.
That's good. Yeah. You don't look like the clingy type.
Well, I have a few skills.
Uh, okay. Sure. It's not that complicated.
Yeah, I mean, at worst, you tell us what to do, right? Like,
But I'm not sharing my pay with you. You guys,
no,
man.
that's quite all right. You can, I mean, you, we don't need that. It's quite all right. So,
Sure. What roll persuasion with advantage.
Okay. Persuasion.
Yeah, I was like, sure. Tomorrow morning, early in the morning, she takes his bath, which I have nothing to do with. That's thank the gods. I don't have to do anything with that. That would never do it. That's what pay me enough for that. Yeah, tomorrow morning, early, sun comes up. Yeah, when the sun comes up,
Mhm.
that's when I start my day. So just meet me outside my house, and we go there. We probably do it in half a day, which means I get a half a day off.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
we'll
can
work.
come
Yeah.
here and drink some more if you want, or do something else.
I'm
I mean,
sorry. I'm not into
Well, that
I like
I
going
mean,
to
you
the
can do whatever you
brothel.
want.
The
That
brothel.
wasn't like a
Sorry,
that wasn't any kind of proposition.
I wasn't.
No,
Now I'm insulted. They can't. Hey,
I
this
just
guy
don't
came to
swing
my
that
thing,
way.
and now he's not. Uh, this is frustrating.
Why
I
don't
don't
you
know
have
This
which is
went
more.
south quick.
I don't know which is more insulting: the fact that he thought that he propositioned to me, or now he's telling me.
I'm
I
just
don't
saying,
mean
you can
I
do
I
whatever you
don't do
want with
that
your
either.
day, and I'll
I
do
don't.
whatever I want with the rest of my day. And I actually, you just got another drink. You should probably have some of that.
Oh, yeah, that's good. It's like, and he just downs it completely. And the other two are just smirking, and the other they're just hiding their hands, like, all right, you got to, hey, let him, right, that's pretty cool.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
like pat him on the back. I'll see you tomorrow then. You can have a nice day then.
Sure.
I have to go help out my lizard friend.
Nah, right. It's another drink for the house. Yes, this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get up and walk away,
Yeah.
trying not to
Ah.
laugh.
Yeah. And the other two, the moment you leave, they rip into. What the fuck's wrong with you, right? And they're just making fun of him. He's like, I just misunderstood. And that found, why would you say it's I is like you're drunk? Blah. Which means
Well,
if
they are
being
drunk.
drunk, being drunk was the problem, I guess the solution until they get to be whoever happens to be the drunk guest. That's what they're working up to. So yeah, your plan is to go with him, help clean the house, I guess, and
Do whatever chore nonsense,
yeah,
and that'll hopefully get us an in a bit with this night guy apprentice.
Yep. Princess, and yeah, next morning. You see him basically taking there's a bucket of water. He's taking a ladle and drinking from it, multiple times because, of course, he's gotta get hydrated again. It's like, yeah, okay, oh yeah, fellow from last night, and
Yep.
the little guy,
Yep.
okay, and the tall one. Never got your name. What was your name again, sir?
You may call me Lael.
Leo. Okay, well, Leo and company. Let's go.
Oh, I'm more nondescript compared to my friends here. I say that as I'm sure he's staring at my stump of an arm.
He actually doesn't, And what you notice that he doesn't
Yeah.
actually care,
Yeah.
At one point he's gonna hand you over something, but he hands you on your it's like, oh, grab that's like, oh, so this other
I grab it with my other hand. That's perfectly
Yeah.
fine.
yeah. But he doesn't care, And you go into the house and Sir Prentice is there, he's night clothes still, and it's like, and he's an old man. He probably in his 70s, probably 80s, very long lived. And the house, it's well appointed, in that it has a lot of weaponry, swords, shields. It has a dented armor in one stand. Like somebody took a mallet to the armor, but it's well cleaned. So, and actually it's a full plate. Although it's not into fit condition for anyone. And her apprentice is a bit too wide to wear these days, right? Especially in the belly area. and he just sits in a chair while cleaning, cooking, doing all the things that he wants you to do, and he just regales you with stories of heroism, and that he lopped the head of an orc here and let it charge against some kobolds over there, and held the line against a rampaging troll that he took on one and won until he forgot that you had to burn them to the ground to really kill them, so he had to run away. Sometimes he lets slip some. He's exaggerating, but at times he lets slip some embarrassing. That I did that, but I forgot about this, but I got a good friend that helped me out of that one. When I fell in the muck or something. So yeah, and so he just does that all the time. What are you gonna do? I mean, after besides cleaning and with anything else?
How
Well,
are we gonna try and get in with him and get to
Okay.
the Marine Quarter?
well, you do that. If it's okay with you, can I actually? This is I don't know. Like, is there like a area that we can like sneak into or around this place to maybe find something that could, I guess, get us into the entire quarter completely, like maybe a missive or a notice that we can forge or something?
Well, you can make a search for that. That would be why am I blanking on basic skills of 5e? My God.
Investigation,
I-
perception,
No,
Just roll
search,
your gather
action.
info, your hiding skill, your appraisal check.
yeah. I'm stuck in an old version of Dungeons and Dragons. That's why.
Exactly.
I mean, there's like 6 different names for it, and they keep changing it each time. So
Yeah. So yeah.
sleight of hand.
No, not for this. Perception. Just a perception check. You're looking for something to acquire. You know that
Yeah,
most of the work is done downstairs, right? And that's downstairs has a kitchens and small kitchens, a salon for entertaining guests, but clearly nobody has been here.
Yeah.
Even though it's well maintained, it's not dirty, but it looks like it's been all the furniture is relatively old and unused. And maybe for example, like the mantle that covers one of the sofas is being beaten so much that it's sort of frail in some places. If somebody tucks it, it could just rip. So it's well kept, but everything here is just it should somebody who had with any sense of fashion or living would just scrap the whole thing and just buy new furniture and stuff like that. But apparently the knight lives alone here, so he doesn't care.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, can I is there, since we're downstairs in it, is there like a study room that I can like sneak to or something to check?
That will be upstairs.
Can I sneak upstairs to try that?
You can do a stealth check.
25.
Yeah, pretty much. You basically disappear. While Latimer is giving instructions, go here, do this, do that, grab me this, and preparing food, all that. You sort of just and Prentice is just blathering on about his exploits. Up in the Shieldlands, you sort of go upstairs, quietly. And there's a small story. They're basically upstairs is 2 rooms: his study and his relatively large bedroom. No guest rooms here.
I would like to check the study first, then, if that's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, there is an oak wooden desk, dark oak, and there is a small box in the corner.
Is the box locked?
Yes.
What would it take to unlock it? Like, I don't even know how that works in 5th edition.
You wouldn't require safe tools for that.
Okay, I don't have that then.
No, but the drawers are open. Their drawers are available. You can open it; they're not locked. And there's several papers and stuff like that in the desk. So,
yeah, I'll search through the papers. Then I guess that's a perception.
Yeah, perception.
17.
you see that these are very old letters, but well kept. Someone has taken the time to make sure that they're not rumpled and like that. And they're land titles, copies of land titles of apparently some kind of terrain up north, right? They are missives from family, again from the Shieldlands, and how you're doing, etc. And there's a letter that it's dated probably about 3 years ago. Apparently, by the writing and the style, it might be a female relative of some sort.
Yeah.
Promising that she will come down to visit at some point, but we have seen no hide or hair here. So if she has, or if she did, or she didn't, you have no clue. And yeah, most of the stuff here is letters to different people, friends, family. You do see an invitation, again, about a year old or something, from in the Marine Quarter for the Hardby Marines Ball.
Ah. I would like to read that if I may. Like, does it actually give a date, what it's for, what time, all that stuff?
It's in the winter. It's a winter ball. It's about a year ago. And it's basically celebrating the retirement of one of the upper officers, the ship captains, that is tied to the Hardby Marines, right? The Marines basically are the naval infantry, but of course they also are on ships, and the way it's said is that this captain is not a member of the Marines per se, but is considered part of the family, kind of thing, right? It's as if the Marine Corps were holding a ball for a Navy captain of what's called the Gator Navy, which is the ships that the Marines go into battle in. So there's a relationship there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to pocket that for now, if I may. That
Okay.
at least just the invitation, nothing else, not the personal effects.
Yeah.
Maybe. And now, can I check his bedroom? You said it's a large bedroom.
Yeah, the bedroom is sparse. One bed, old. In fact, if you bump a little against it, it kind of creaks a little bit. And again, you see there's some clothing, in another large box which is open, and the clothing is well folded. Again, it's just something that had been in style 15 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. But it's well kept. Some of it might be a little eaten by moths, right? No mothballs in this era. I guess you have some magic or something. But aside from that, nothing of import here. Again, someone who lives alone, doesn't
I
seem
kind
to
of
have
feel.
most of these
I
trophy,
legit feel sad for him.
most of these trophy swords, cross swords and shield, the dead. Most of his presentation as a knight is downstairs, especially so when you come in, you realize you're looking at someone with who has a martial history. But everything else is relatively empty and lacks decoration like that. So somebody apparently doesn't care about that in his more personal space.
All right then. Well, if I don't find anything of note or interesting like that, I'll just take that missive and head back downstairs to do more work before I'm missed.
While that was happening, if there's a lot of stuff around the space that looks like it hasn't seen repair, he would have just gone around mending stuff.
When you try to mend some of this stuff, Serpentis
he would ask for permission first. He wouldn't just do it because it's not his house.
He's like, no. Just polish it. That's all I need to happen. Just leave it as is. Those marks are very important, young
Yep.
And he turns to Latimer and is like, Latimer? Like, yes, sir. Why did you bring a rat into my home?